I'm crazy, maybe I know. Can't help loving that man of mine. When he goes away, that's a rainy day. But when he comes back, that day is mine. The sun will shine. He can come home as late as can be. Home without him ain't no home to me. Can't help loving that man of mine. Fish.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Yes, indeed. Another wonderful Saturday evening. We apologize for the tardiness, those that have been waiting. It's this wonderful LA traffic, as it may be, but we thank you for your patience waiting for the signals or just knowing that when we're coming live and being available for you. Want to welcome our dear brother tonight behind the helm, as well as our other commentary host, the doctor himself, the best kept secret of Atlanta and above, Dr. Charles.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Darnell will hopefully be back with us next week. He is an accountant, a tax accountant, a business accountant, an accountant, and that's counting accountant. All right. So, but this is a little bit of a busy season for him. So, but he will be back with us next week as well.
Well, I hate that he's not going to be here.
Yeah.
This is because I would have loved to know his take on whatever that's happening right now in Washington with the IRS. But
but
let's keep that moving.
Yes, exactly. He'll be able to share with that again, next week when he gets back. Want to remind you guys also, we're going to bring up a little bit. Our time shift is going to be shifting a little bit.
Yes.
Starting Tuesday, we will be to you live as we are tonight on Tuesday nights. Okay. But if you're a Saturday night viewer, you'll be able to view the show still on Saturday night at this given time. So it'll be available. It just won't be live. Okay. So I'm making some time adjustments temporarily because positions and all that stuff are requiring that. So we got to pay some bills. All right, because y'all ain't paying no bills yet, so so we no, but we'll gladly be with you at that point. We wanted to bring you up to date just in case you're looking for a specific time, or you can adjust your schedule to Tuesday night. Same time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 8 p.m. Central Time, and 6 p.m. on the West Coast. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much. So before we get into tonight's show, the dear one is gonna celebrate the Black excellence. Okay, and you guys start at the top of the show with the divine and beautiful Lena Horne. So he's going to take a few minutes to share about that part of our Black excellence in the month of March. I must say March. Lord have mercy, month of February. I'm getting this month of it already. In the month of February, which has been labeled as Black History Month, but I like to refer to it as Black American History, celebrating Black excellence. As it's my spin on it. Y'all know I got to spin on everything. But anyway, so before we get into that, I definitely want to say to everyone last week that viewed the show, we thank you for viewing show number one. Okay, we've been here 5 years, and and all of the things and above, coast to coast, around the world, and everything else. Last week, I just took a turn, on some things that needed to be mentioned, but I do apologize in terms of the tone that I brought it to, to everyone's attention. So if I did offend you based on my tone, I do apologize. Sometimes we get frustrated in life. I'm telling you. And then, things come out in the process of that. But I want you to know that I do love you all. Okay, even if I chastise in love, all right. I know I really do. I really love your audience. I love you as our audience and what you do to support us being here diligently each and every week. Now I can't make a promise I may get not say something y'all like. All right, that's not my job is to say stuff to make you provoke your thoughts. Okay. And that is what I like to do, and that is what I want to do, whatever perspective that you are out there listening to, be it from the religious, political, social, relationships, everything that we speak on. There will be a lot of conversations you may not ever agree with. It's okay. Send us an email, as I always say. All right. Anyway, so enough of our house cleaning. All right. Thank you again for your participation and joining us tonight, wherever you're joining us. And again, I apologize for my rant last week, in some of the contents of where it happened. Okay. All right. So moving on real quick, and I'm going to let him get into talking about Miss Lena Horne. I want your support, of course. Our support platforms is our Venmo is The Truth Behind the Truth. Okay, on Venmo. And our support platform is also on Instagram, all right? TTBTT Show. You can also still get Smug. Okay, we still have those available for you. I think we still have them on sale right now, don't we? I think was it $5.99, Charles? I believe was that was on sale for? I think
you dropped it down, yeah.
Yeah, the $5.99. Okay, so the mugs are still available for you in that aspect of it. Please, if you're interested in getting a mug, send the information to $9.99. Sorry, to the TTBTT Show Gmail at .com, and then we will make that available to you, all your address and everything, and pay system to be able to get that out to you as well. All right, let's go and have some fun tonight, fellas. Take it away, baby.
All right. Well, Lena Horne was our opening for the show.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I always tell people there are people that you must aspire to be and look up to because of the shoes that they have had, or the path that they had to walk to open doors for people like Whitney Houston, or singers of today.
Yes.
Singers of that came without this lovely lady, we wouldn't have our Halle Berry. We wouldn't have.
Can you say that again?
Without this lovely lady, we wouldn't have our Halle Berrys. We wouldn't have our Gabrielle Unions, and we wouldn't have had our Whitney Houstons come through the door, or Donna Ross.
Yes.
Lena Horne is such an important figure. Not only she's considered one of the greatest stylists of singers from the 20th century, along with Billie Holiday and Ethel Waters and all of those people. But she brought a certain class to the art form of singing, along with Billie Holiday. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, she comes from the Talented 10, the Horne family.
Okay.
W.E.B. Du Bois named the top 10 Black families of the early 20th century that were prominent in their fields, in their careers, and in their class.
Okay.
And Lena Horne comes from that. She comes from the Horne family of Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Her grandmother, Cora Lee.
Okay.
Cora Horne was the one of the earliest members of the NAACP.
Oh, wow.
And she was the one that, if you go and Google, you can Google it. Lena Horne's first magazine photo of her when I think she was 3 years old is on the W.E.B. Du Bois magazine of the NAACP magazine.
Okay.
But along with that, because of that upbringing, she became a civil rights organizer, a suffragette, a feminist.
Wow.
All of that because of her grandmother. All of that came from the fact of that type of upbringing. Now, Lena Horne also was one of the only Black actresses that was signed to a major movie studio. At the time, that was unheard of.
Okay.
Because most Black artists during the 30s and the 40s and 50s, they were not really signed legitimately to a big movie studio.
Okay.
And this particular movie studio was MGM.
Okay.
And MGM had all of the greats. Had Judy Garland, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, had the greats.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, her having to walk through that door, she had to take on a lot of abuses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The fact is that she in her contract, she couldn't play certain roles. She couldn't be a maid. She couldn't be a slave. She couldn't be none of that.
Well, that's good.
Which was good.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, behind the scenes, there is a story that when she would go on tours, this was during World War II when she was signed to the studio. She did USO tours.
Okay.
There were times that she not only had to sing to the Black GIs, she had to sing to the German POWs too.
Wow. Okay.
And because of it, she got fed up and she quit, and that caused her to be on the blacklisted within the entertainment industry.
Really?
But make a long story short, because of those strides, because of the fact that she was the first, that gave people like Dorothy Dandridge a chance. That gave people like Eartha Kitt a chance. That gave a lot of other artists a chance. So when you think of Lena Horne, you think of those pioneers who had to not only had to toe the line because she was carrying a whole entire people on her back. That means she couldn't be who she wanted to be. She had to live up to the image. And because of that, I give my flowers to this beautiful woman, along with people like Billie Holiday and Hazel Scott, Josephine Baker. She is within that class of women that needs to be celebrated and upheld. And I wish as a Black community, as much as we had put Marilyn Monroe, like everybody else, on the top tier, we need to be putting this woman on the top tier, along with Dorothy Dandridge, along with a lot of plethora of great talent. So, hey, we give you our flowers to you, Miss Lena Horne. Thank you so much.
By all means, that is what I consider Black excellence. You know, I know we discussed last week. I didn't want to go down the road this month for the Harriet Tubmans and all that. And really, they all have a certain place, because without Harriet Tubman, of course, Lena Horne couldn't be. You know, so there's always a positive ripple effect in terms of what people have done. But this month and throughout, I really wanted to celebrate the entertainment and arts and how we have made such a impact on that, even at the time when people thought that African Americans or Black Americans were not making an impact. When we go to our first break, it's a segment from Stormy Weather, which Lena Horne was in as well. But I love this particular. When we go to break, you won't see it just yet, but we played it a couple times this month already. But the choreography in this dance number, that I think they were tap dancing too, weren't they? At the time, or was it just a choreography dance?
It could have been it could have been called tap dance, right? It could have been jazz movement.
Okay. And then I love Cab Calloway on that scene, y'all. That boy was just jamming his butt off. He was going, that hair was flopping. I said, get it, Cab. And it wasn't even nowhere near his era, but that was my parents' era. But it's just the fact that the music. Yeah, I know, right? The music was just, and it's just very moving. It's moving to your soul. And the pioneer of hip hop. He wrote the first rapping and rhyming book before hip hop was even made. See, a lot of these Black hip hop purists need to go do a lot of work on Cab Calloway because he ushered in not only a little bit of jazz but bebop. And bebop is, I call the pre-Dougie Fresh movement. Because I mean, that is our art. That is what we brought to the American sound, American song. I mean, I always tell people we are a wealth of art within the Black community. We are. And just mentioning that, we're going to let Charles bring his point. Then we're going to move on. My thing is that because of this level of Black excellence that we come from, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but I just don't understand the shift, and what has happened where we are at this particular point in time. I know Charles could probably expand on that a little bit more, because I consider it a shift, because we were so celebrated, and at a time when we weren't thought of as being the right in that position. And then it seems like we have all of these iconic figures that make up to what the degrading side of hip hop has come to, but without these shoulders of these individuals, what I'm saying? They said, how can we just take that road? I know everybody says that it's all about the expression, but hey, everybody didn't come from a ghetto expression. Everybody wasn't, that, and to be acceptable in the mainstream. And you look at like we said, we just looked at the iconic beauty of Lena Horne, and when we go to break later on, the excellence of these guys in these zoot suits, and the women that were so delicately put together, for this particular moment, and I'm sure they did things they weren't supposed to be doing. I'm not saying that they didn't. At the end of the day, but it's still about what they represented out in public,
And one more thing, because you did mention the zoot suits.
Yes.
You know how you hate to see people sagging and doing all that stuff, which I don't care too much for. But the zoot suits was looked upon as a political stance.
A rebellious stance.
A political stance.
It was.
Out here in LA, there is within the Hispanic community a culture that still goes on with those zoot suits because of because of the fact that even during that time period, Blacks and Hispanics, they wore those to fight the system.
Right.
And because of those suits, they were always harassed by the police.
That's true. That's
so
true.
You know,
History here, y'all.
History is always repeating itself. But Charles, if you got something to say, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't have anything to add. I'm good.
But but you see Cap Calloway in his suit, and it's with that long coat and chain at the side. Even he wore that same suit in that All Right music video with Janet Jackson. See that right there? But she connected the dots.
Yeah, true. And I was about to say, but Michael started with that, and you know, and think about bringing those things. I think trying to remind this era that where life came from, you know, in terms of that, and which was beautiful when Janet did that in Y'all Right video, and everybody paying homage, and everybody was in a wow factor. You know, when she went back and did this, and you know, pulled these things up and introduced those great times to a different generation. You know, but in that, I'm like, wait, how do we go into this other shift and this other stuff? I don't know what we did or the direction that we went in, but I'm sorry we went in that direction. You know, at the end of the day. But Charles, speak to your point as a mature man and what you see that this combination of what I'm gonna consider the combination, just the direction that we went, because I consider it complete Black excellence, and some people say what they're doing right now they consider it excellence. I just don't. I'm just being honest. But go ahead, Charles.
It's a time period. I mean, because you got to remember, even back in the '60s, everybody thought all that movement in the hairdos was too much.
Yes,
for the processes and everything, they were getting away from being Black, and it just there's always controversy because everybody's got their opinions or perspective on how they view things. And then you also got to remember that as we elevate and evolve, things get more literal versus imagery. You can't say one thing but so many ways till you have to move to the next level.
Okay.
And then to the next level, and then to the next level. And it's true that there's a lot out there that could be kind of toned down, but it's the hierarchy, the gatekeepers that they allow all this in. And until you can get the gatekeepers to stop, you really can't control it.
Well, you mentioned that fact of gatekeeper. And this show's not gonna be about hip hop tonight, but I'm just but the gatekeepers are over that, you know, that situation and the involvement of that and the surplus of money that these people are allegedly making for these, you know, for these situations. I mean, hell, I mean, they're at this point, they can get somebody $250,000 and tell you to go make a video and throw it all up in the air. You know, and then make the illusion like you're really making bank off it. Some of you are making money, but it's more money than you ever have. But you figure that somebody give you, like as I said, $250,000, $100 bills, you know, and then you selling that stuff, you know, that chlamydia lip gloss. Really? I mean, that come on, we got to do better.
Different generation, different values, different time periods, different times. But but going back to what Charles was saying about the hair processing and the afro, and we're talking about the zoot suits, that's our culture. But the fact is, we were talking about Lena Horne, the fact that even in her store, Lena Horne was always trying to find her Blackness. Because even during that time period, to be light and bright was to get through the door. And to have long,
it's still like that right now.
Well, that too.
In some cases.
Hey, I always say we are our own worst enemy. Because we promoted that too with the paper bag, the brown paper bag test. We did that. We did that. We did that.
Share that.
Well, that was the test where, you know, most prominent Black families who wanted to keep their families light and bright, they will have whoever significant other would put a paper bag next to their skin to say, "Is this required?
I did not know
You're too dark to come into this family, and you're not good enough to be dark and to be Black. You were considered to not be of low of the totem pole." But listen, y'all, this is history now. Even the first generation after slavery, we were going through a process of trying to Americanize then and to be acceptable then. You know, the saddest thing about it is that's where the church always come into play with whatever that's going on within the community, because that was our safety system. That is where we garnered information and enlightenment. And because of that, that sometimes came up in those situations, because even you talked about this with the Episcopal the first African Episcopal church, only dark people, AME, mostly dark, considered, you know, Blacks could only go into those churches, while you had the light brights who went into into a more, United Methodist,
Right.
Lutheran type of situation.
Uh-huh.
But that was always the situation within our community. And like going back to Lena Horne, she fought for the fact that she was always black.
Uh-huh.
She was always telling people, I am black.
Right.
I might look white to you and I might entertain a white world, but understand this, I'm dealing with everyday blackness. The same thing with Whitney Houston in 89 when she got booed at the NAACP. She was having to tell people, I know that I live in a pop world, but I'm still a black woman.
Right.
And if I have to prove that I'm a black woman by doing things to show you, I will do it, whatever that is necessary. And that I hate to say that it kind of, I understood her plight,
right?
But it didn't work out the way I would have wanted it to work out in her career. But hey, Whitney set the standard. Along with Lena Horne, there was Diana Ross, and there was Whitney Houston.
Right.
3 black goddesses that were accepted within the white world, and they succeeded.
Right.
But the saddest thing about those 3 were they were always trying to tell the black community, yes, but I am still black.
Right. Well,
and
and I think that, and again, I love to hear Charles' opinion on this too as well. I think that, the qualification that we have put on people, and what we started to do is to judge our talent based on the way a person looked. Same way that you're talking about earlier on the paper bag, and we judge our talent because why in the world would a group of African American people, bring Whitney Houston to an event, okay, and then boo her because of the genre of music that she was doing. Okay, and I get it. The things they're calling her Whitey Houston and
that was Al Sharpton.
Of course. At the end of the day, but it's still in line of all of the of what I'm saying. So we, rather than celebrating, there's a lot of nuances or levels to what we're talking about right here, at the end of the day. All right. We know that, let's go back to Berry Gordy, and you can speak to this as well, that Berry Gordy set Motown up to be a crossover company.
Yeah.
That was his goal. That was his primary, because he knew that the money would be made for those artists in the crossover category. Okay. When Whitney got managed, and what she went through with Clyde Davis and stuff, he knew that in order for her to make music, she had to have a crossover appeal. It was not her turning quote unquote white. All right. The style of music that was written, that she was so versatile with her voice that she could sing gospel to pop. She could sing R&B to pop. She could sing R&B to gospel. She could sing movie musicals, and all of those are the type of things that were so great about the element of her voice. So my encouragement, then let me trust it, is that I think this is where we kind of started losing identity, during this particular phrase. And then there's a historic point about that. Maybe we'll share that a little bit later. And then in that identity, we were thinking that we had to have that true church gospel movement in order to stay in the R&B community, So I think it was a thing that we played, I don't know, how can I describe this? I think that we did ourselves an injustice, because Michael went through the same thing too. Michael went through the thing of, why is this music not appealing to the quote unquote black community or the urban community? So my question is, what is the urban community? Charles, I'll let you take that. What is the urban community? What is an urban sound? And not just a sound that it just has depth, rhythm movements, and all these type of things. Anybody can do that. But anyway, go ahead, Charles.
No, that's basically the way it's set up. As far as genres, most musicians don't want to be categorized. They just want to play their music, and you like it if you like it.
Yes.
When I grew up in Chicago, on the South Side, my dad worked at a Polish A&P as an assistant manager of produce, and they played white music on the radio all day long. Okay. So I learned all that Bob Denver and ABBA and all, but then in my city, they also played those on the black radio. Yeah, exactly. They music was music. Whatever we liked is what they played. But now it's so segregated that
You see what I'm saying?
It's
I blame MTV for this too.
True.
I do.
That's a true point. I was going to go there, but go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Maya Rudolph brought this up in an interview. She said the 70s music was a great time to be different, to be diverse, and to explore. It was up into, and not only did she say that, but I think Denise Williams also said this also in an interview when MTV came out with the videos.
Right.
music became a visual.
Right.
It became it wasn't about hearing the music. It was about seeing the music. And when you start seeing the music, that's when you start categorizing people and making them look a certain way to fit a certain mold.
Right.
I would say urban. When you talk about urban music, you talk about Gamble and Huff. You talk about Teddy Riley. You talk about people like L.A. Reid.
Urban music.
Yeah, that's urban. You talk about people like Andre. Was it Andre Harrell who did Uptown Records?
Yeah.
Uptown. Yeah. Mary J. Blige and Jodeci and all of that. That was considered urban. Okay. Now you mostly during the 70s was listening to a lot of Michael Masser. You were listening to a lot of what was her name? Creed, Michael Masser and the lady and Linda Creed, and also some other great songwriters that wrote all those great ballads. You know what? I was so shocked to know that Barry Manilow wrote a lot of stuff for Phyllis Hyman, and wrote not only a lot of stuff for Phyllis Hyman, but Dionne Ward and Deja Vu is not included in that, but he did help out with that.
Right, he did.
But the fact is that I don't consider that almost a pop single. I think of that as mostly R&B. But that is just my musical ear just buzzing with that, you know.
Well, you know, and here's the thing, and this is beautiful that we're talking about this in the first half of the show. You know, I get it. I understand the fact that everybody wants to say, you know, what we've seen in great singing is a derivative of Black music, or in this case, we're going to say Black excellence. Okay. But I think the one wrong thing in that is that we have categorized to say that nobody else could ever sing just as good or present.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
And it's so wrong.
They do that with Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. I'm like, y'all sit that down. Please sit that down.
But in the case of then we become our own worst critic.
Yes, we do.
Okay. And then we become our own worst enemy because then we start, you know, categorizing. So what if Christina Aguilera started singing music that was just in a great category that brought her over to more of an R&B side? Okay. You have to understand somebody's story. Okay. And when people have great stories behind them, you can understand. The woman, so she was raised on Aretha Franklin. Okay. And Etta James. Okay. But most of y'all don't know that. Okay. Some of y'all just went to the category. That's that white girl singing Black music. It's not that, guys. It's about exposure. Okay. So some Black artists, okay, let's just put it on, did not have that full, what you call the rhythm blues exposure. So what they did is they brought to what they learned. You know, now I will say in my category, and you're probably the same way, and I'm sure Charles, because you study music as well. Studying music is not studying urban ideas, okay, if I may use that as a term. Studying music is understanding what the sounds of music and what it perpetuates, okay? And knowing what harmonies are and where harmonies come from, how you find a harmony, how you listen, where do you have 4-part, 3-part harmony, all these things. Most people nowadays don't have any clue what harmony is. That's why auto-tune has become the best thing that ever sliced bread. It's horrible.
I said that too.
You see what I'm saying?
During the day, they used to do background sessions.
Yes, absolutely.
Luther Vandross,
yes,
Denise Williams, all of these people were background singers. And she said this in an interview, a recent interview, that most singers these days do not participate, but because of that, they don't have the musical ear to know when to be musical with the music. Right. Not only musical, but harmonize.
Right.
And believing that and trying to connect with tone.
Right.
But you know, it's so sad that type of art form is gone, because we had most of our greatest R&B singers were background and church singers.
Yeah, they were.
So
and then another point there too, and then and we also have to understand that, you know, every sound is not a gospel sound. Okay, and then we have always kind of equated that into the mix. Well, that person must have came out and some ability, yeah, they probably did, but every sound doesn't have to have that as a pull to the understanding of that, you know. And I'm not running my mouth. I'm gonna let Charles say his point about that. But and then, you know, and Charles brought up like the 70s. We were of a certain age. Okay, the 70s was such a very powerful time in music. Okay, especially for us. All right, I enjoyed the 70s, and what is so great about the 70s music is that it is so sampled as the number one sampled music in today's movement.
It is.
And people, well, I heard where that come wrong. That's 70s music. Okay.
Bad Boy samples everything.
Everything from it. I mean, all your commercials on TV, where they going to pull music for the set, because it was an appeal, and it was songs that were written with the inner inspiration.
I like America's. I'm gonna let you speak, but I do like the sample, the acoustic sample from Ventura Highway.
Oh yeah, from America, right?
I love that. Now they can sample that all. They can sample that all day. Now go ahead, Charles. We'll move on to the next subject.
Yeah, it's all good. I think that if we take the time to study and absorb,
yes,
we'll have a better understanding. But too many times we want things given to us. We have to dummy it down for people to get it, or for them to even understand what it's about. But I think that if we become picky with what we absorb and what we listen to, we'll eliminate a lot of crap. But right now, people just like what's heavy on the beat and whatever they can dance to.
But you know, and here's somebody, and then we've got to get off of the subject. We're going to move on, but taking over the whole show. You know, and looking at that, you said a great point about that, Charles. Because again, we of a certain age can understand transition in music. You know, because we went for the pop culture, then we went into the disco culture. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, and coming out of the disco culture, then we moved into this separational culture. You know, then we had white music and you had black music. BET came along to combat what was going on MTV, like you said in the beginning.
MTV wasn't playing black videos. Michael had to sue them and threaten to take down all of the music off of
MTV.
I forgot who he was under at that time. They had to take all. They were telling them, if you don't play Michael, we're taking all our music off.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The CBS CEO at the time. I know who you're talking about too.
Well, you know, and it's so unfortunate that we had to get pushed in that generation. But you said it earlier. It's, in a nutshell, the powers that be, wanted to create that separated path. And what happened, they did. And it could have been a spillover from what they have been down through the ages and what have you. It could have been spillover what was race music back in the 60s, at the end of the day. Somebody came up with that idea again, and it surfaced and made its way through. Now one interview which was really strange, okay, and it could have been about the suit. Now we got to go on. The guys that started MTV, all right, they came up with a thing because they said unfairly they got labeled the wrong way. And it was not their intent as to create for it to evolve to what happened. Okay. Meaning that they didn't set out to separate black and white music. They just wanted, they had to come up with it because they had to save some face. I don't know if this is after Michael came on scene or whatever, but they came out with it was not the intent to isolate black audiences. Okay. What it was to spill off of what Charles and I grew up with, what was the one just come on Friday nights, Charles. Midnight Special. Midnight Special. So their idea was to kind of make it a bigger Midnight Special because of these videos, But Midnight Special did not segregate. Okay. Midnight Special had everybody that was a part of it, and it fed into that inclusivity of what we talked about throughout the 70s. So hey guys, I get the music as a choice, but in this day and time, you got to be careful what you see because it still is an ear gate. You know what I'm saying? And it does affect the way you see your life, the world, and everything else that people in front of you, So if what you're listening to is not feeding, your mind to elevate you, surely it's not going to feed your soul. At the end of the day, I'm not saying you have to listen to the gospel all the time. I'm just saying that there's music that's out there that can feed your soul and making you feel better as a person and loving the person that's in front of you, no matter where they come from. At the end of the day. All right, we got a quick break. We're going to come on. He's going to come back with some good more stuff. All right, we'll see y'all in a quick minute.
Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
All right. Hey, that just gives me when I first discovered that video, it just gives me a big charge every time I see it, because it just shows in 1943 to 44 what Black excellence was done right here in this city out, and coming out of the studio, that was done at Fox. When you say it was done at Fox Studio, coming out and just getting probably treated any kind of way after that magnificent performance.
And the thing, where was the audience for that?
Yeah, exactly. But it, like we're talking about, it made such a strong crossover appeal, though, in everything, because at that time people were watching Black films and wanting to tell you they were watching it in their homes, So, but this is just the things in which we come from, guys, and be proud of that. Be proud of that in the way that looked. And I was telling him during the break, I would love to see what is it, the flash mob? The people got together and performed that particular that dance set. It's somebody's club or whatever, like the wobble and the weeble and everything that we done, and Cupid on the shuffle, and Cupid skip, and whatever we done. But that would be a good one to bring back. Anyway, let's move on. I know you got some stuff we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Let's talk about the Black Initiative at the White House. We have they held also a Black History Month. Trump held the Black History Month program at the White House, and what really threw me, and I hate to say this, y'all, and y'all who would, if you don't know the story of this, but this what threw me when I saw what I saw. He had all these Black Republicans there, all of these people who do podcasts for the Make Chicago Red, all these people. He had Lil Boosie there. He had Judge Joe Brown. He had all these people there. But what really shocked me was when he brought out the one person I thought who said that he was never Black. And guess who that was? Who? Mr. Tiger Woods.
Oh, he blazing.
Yeah. He said he was blazing.
I don't really think he knew where he was at.
Right.
I almost literally choked because I was like, Tiger, you Black? I said, wait a minute. How much money did they pay you to come in? How much money did they pay you to come out of the closet as being Black? So I'm just, that really, I said, you know what? I hate to say that, but that was a Black History moment.
Wow. Wow.
That was a Black History moment. Wow. I was like aghast. I was like, what is going on here? And the saddest thing about that whole entire situation was Trump was the only person who had a full speech during the whole entire thing. And guess who else wasn't there to give also a speech? Our first man, Melania.
That's okay. Well, that's the new trend. It's Elania. Okay,
Melania was not there.
That's the new first gentleman.
You got a first man and a first woman now. So
the second first gentleman that moving out the first wife.
What a job, at least. What a job, at least.
Yeah.
He's doing the job. So let's pick that movie. But yeah, what did you think of? Did you see it?
No, I didn't. I missed it. I did. And I try not to stay up on things too much going on up in that fiasco of a administration, because it's just too much, and for me, what you just kind of shifting what you were saying, it's just too much. It's too much going on right now. My thing is, like, we started, I know Charles started out, let Charles speak on that my position is now getting our household in a place that if we need to make a quick exit to Canada, we going. All right. Because I think that this man is yet to, if he could get away with it, which thank God that there are laws in place that he just cannot take a pen and wipe away at this point. All right. Because if he could, if day one, he probably would have put a martial law in everybody's house. If it was that damn orange picture at the front door, then you got to bow down to me coming in the door. All right. And make it happen.
And for those in the back room, we're talking about a vacation. We're sponsoring a vacation to Canada. And there is no movement. It's a Canadian vacation that we're trying to sponsor. So keep on the lookout for that. Go ahead, Charles.
The thing that if I don't know, every time I watch him, I get a little throw up in my throat. I taste it. I can't really deal with him, and I can't deal with those. Hey, it is what it is. Them niggas that follow him. because they have no understanding of who they are. And it's sad because with all of the hatred and the lies he tells, the way he belittles black folks and people of color and the people he hang with that hate black folks, and you still hang with him. You still support him. That just tells me, yeah, you lazy, shiftless, no good nigga. That's basically all it is.
But you know what? I don't mind them supporting him. And the thing about it, let's just be real about the situation. While you're up there supporting a man who doesn't support diversity and DEI situations, he's underfunding and undergirding HBCU programs that benefit black people. Not only that, but he's undergirding black studies, black African American studies.
Yeah, undergirding. He's not undergirding.
He is undergirding. He's taking money away from
taking under undergirding means he's supporting.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. Thank you for the one that.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Sorry about that. I thought it was
undergirding
well,
is supporting, giving a foundation.
That's giving a foundation.
Right,
but let me say this though: he's taking money away from Black Initiative. Not only did he do that, he also fired General Charles Q. Brown.
Yeah, just the other day.
Mm-hmm. And while they up there having a good old time at the White House saying that he's not a racist, how could you fire somebody who was so advanced and so for his job, been there for so many years working for the military, and considered very high in ranking, but you get rid of him because you consider him not only a DEI hire, but an unfortunate too.
This DEI hire, I mean, it's like all of these layers of shit. That's just I'm just being straight up with it. This is why I can't, I can't watch it, right now. You know what I mean? I can't, I don't want to get myself absorbed what I want to be knowledgeable of it, of course.
This is who he fired, y'all.
Of course.
Of course.
I want to be knowledgeable, which I will be, but I after the election, after the pain and the agony of sitting, you guys can go back and watch our show that we did on election night and what have you. But after sitting through that and watching how this country, which I said it's an alleged win because I still don't believe that he won, like he even won when he supposedly won against Hillary, because there's no damn way that this man could turn America red. I'm sorry, because right here, this one ain't red. I'm sitting here ain't red. The one with my brother in Atlanta ain't red. Okay, and I'm it's over me. So how are we allowing this as the people of this country? Okay, and hear my point. I don't understand as the people of this country. Why are we allowing, this is not black and white, this is we the people, okay, and we the people don't want your ass in the White House, but where is we the people? All right, I don't see we the people.
We out there.
We the people. Well, we the people right here talking about it, but I don't see nobody else setting up anything against to do it.
They are out there. Go ahead, Charles. They are out there.
I think that it's a lack of self-respect and a lack of self-love.
Yeah.
How can you? It's like I forget his name in Django, Samuel L. Jackson's character. He's running around telling on the black folks, "Where you niggas going? The man don't want y'all doing that." Right? It's always ratting on everybody because he want to be good with the head guy. Donald Trump doesn't like anybody. All those when he did this, DEI became the new N-word. So and the crazy part is how we allow him to make this transformation or make these incendiary remarks and don't do anything. I've always said that the Democrats had no backbone, but I'm glad they're finally standing up and saying things. And I'm kind of sad that it's nothing against women, but why did Jasmine Crockett have to be the voice of the party to always put them in check? Where is everybody else? And
and it's very, very true. I mean, I don't understand. It's like everybody has just like gone, so to speak, back in the closet, pull their coats over their head and hide.
I was pissed when Hakeem Jeffries went, if we got a good bill, we can work together. Skip all that work together stuff, man. This is why you use it now.
Michael Steele is saying that on MSNBC. It's no way of working with these people.
Yeah, they don't care.
because their man is in the White House. They now run the Senate. They run the House. The fact is they got we have the most conservative Supreme Court justices.
Right.
I mean, they overrun the Supreme Court. So
very partisan. Very partisan.
Trump has it in the bag right now. But the one thing as the American people, I will say this: there are people out there doing the will of trying to put it to the man. They're out there boycotting Coke,
right?
Walmart, Target, Starbucks, Home Goods. All of these people are getting boycotted. But wait a minute, one more thing. The facts are this: in the last quarter, Target lost about $14 to $15 billion. Walmart lost a lot of money in the last quarter. Coke is losing a lot of money.
But they claim it's the economy. It's not the boycott stuff. Exactly. They're saying that because of the way inflation is about to rise, which Trump keeps saying it's not his fault. Biden did all this and left it to him, and that's why it's going up. He's also all the slashing. This is the thing that I'm so happiest about, is that the people that he screwed over are basically red states, and they're pissed. And they're ganging up. They were here in Georgia. They was about to chew up this. I forget the Republican that came out there talking, and he says the January 6th people were done. They got hyped. They was like, "Boo! That's shame on you." He's trying to compare them to the January 7th. They were loud in voices. No, they were killing people. They were just doing destruction. They were tearing things up. How do you compare citizens who are out just having a conversation with people who were vandals and criminals?
Well, you're not to interrupt me. I think you said this, I think some shows back, and what we are finding is that, the era of the orange tree, and all of its, unruly fruit that is coming from it. This has been baiting America for a long time. Okay, it's been baiting America for 8 years, and 2 before then, then started baiting it when President Obama was still. I'm saying President Obama, not former, because he's still my president. I don't care what y'all say. And what has happened is, like, you keep putting something in front of people, okay, and you keep saying in sound bites, and media, y'all are the number one jackasses that have put this man back in office. I'm just gonna tell you, and y'all need to own up to your responsibility and what y'all did. Okay, because you're the ones. And one of my favorite media platforms is ABC and typically CNN, but I got kind of shifted on CNN. But ABC generally is one that halfway at least gets partial in increments of the truth behind the truth,
too, I think. The Associate Press also,
right? And that's it. But even y'all baited this situation, okay? Because every time you turn around, there was a worm on a hook. Okay, you dangle it in front of these people, and you grab them and you snook them in, because you stuck them in and you snook them in, and reel these people in.
Todd never recovered. He admitted that he helped put Trump in office. He said, I call myself calling him out, but I basically gave him airtime and enough substance that he became nothing. He was all people knew. And he said, and that's where Chuck started declining with his news. That's why he went from being on the Meet the Press to doing side gigs to off the station altogether. I think he regretted. Even the people who did The Apprentice, they're on an apology tour. They're going around saying how sorry they are for making America believe that Donald Trump is a businessman. I had a guy tell me yesterday, going, all of the business Trump's has done. Said, name one successful business he's done, just one.
And most people don't know. They don't know.
Fake business.
Fake business. I can't. He sold gold tennis shoes.
He's gonna do to the Gaza what he did to Atlantic City. He raised that up there, got the expectations up, and then gutted them. He sold them off for parts and left everybody hanging who didn't get paid. I mean, they worked with him to do what he did.
And well, here's the thing. This is something that I'm questioning, and maybe I think that the heavens will reveal to it, or the universe will reveal it to me in a short period of time here. It's like really that for some odd reason that America, and I'm not just talking about the past 8 to 10 years. I'm talking about being baited with this man for a long time. And I don't understand how that happened or wove into our natural society. Because I think we talked about this in a previous show. Our favorite show, love these women. They're all on the other side. but we love the Golden Girls. Okay, and I can watch the Golden Girls over and over and over and over and over again. It's just funny. It was well written. It's one of the best sitcoms in a long time. But there was 2 episodes that mentioned him by name in that episode. Because Blanche said at one time that they were meeting, at one point, and they was talking about how wealth was, and she said, if I had the financial means of a Mr. Donald Trump, I was like, what the hell?
Smoky mirrors.
You know what I'm saying?
But even Fresh Prince did that too. You know, he did an episode of Fresh Prince when they moved down the street. They came to the house, and who was it? Carlton. He was a big fan of Donald Trump.
He's a Republican.
We were baited in the 90s.
Right.
You know, there were people who did see him in Home Alone when Macaulay Culkin was coming through the ward office Astoria, and he showed up out of nowhere. Right. So yes, we looked at him because the media
put him in front
of us. Popular culture put him in front of us as a celebrity, as somebody who was successful. Right. But we did not know how racist he behind closed doors he was until that birther movement he did. But when Obama was president, that would really open my eyes to the ignorance of him. Right. Because I remember when Obama, when they ran through Libya and killed Gaddafi, the one thing he said was, why did that man not go and steal those oil reserves? Why are we just going in there and just burning everything down and just coming back? Obama don't know how to be a president, because if I was your president, I would go in there and take those oil reserves. I remember him saying that. But then you had people like Clint Eastwood, who was on to the birther movement, had a chair out there doing the and told Obama to sit down somewhere because you don't know what you're doing. So that type of movement was going strong even when that man was president and after. But yeah, they baited us. They really did.
I mean, they didn't bait me.
They didn't bait
me at all. I'd seen this wide open, and even from the very first time that he allegedly came to a state, coming out that escalator, trying to declare himself as to run for office. I said it's a trick, and I said it is a trick, and y'all about to get your ass tricked. Is what
they're gonna find out. All those white farmers who were connected to USAID didn't realize all their money came from USAID. What is it? The Inflation Reduction Act that Biden put into effect helped all those farmers get those loans and the equipment and stuff they needed to put out there, and then they were just getting paid to ship all that food and stuff overseas to them people who needed the food. So they in turn was making a cycle of money coming back through. It was a circle that would come back to them. And now all the white guys are out there, which is basically what it is. Mostly white farmers are going, hey, I took out loans, I signed contracts for stuff, and now I'm not getting my money, and you're not going to help me. And they go and they did black
farmers now. Let's keep that.
Yeah, exactly. He stopped their funding. He stopped the black farmers from getting their money.
So my question now, and now we don't want to be a platform that we are exhorting, regardless if it's good or not good, or exhorting the antics of who he is. You know what I mean? So what I would suggest, those of you that are watching, thank you so much, you guys that are tuning in. Hopefully you're still watching at this point. What are we going to do as a nation? What are we going to do as a group of people? What are we going to start listening to? I'm greatly y'all coming here for your information, and I encourage you to continue to come to the truth behind the truth to get the positive side of media exposure or the exposing of the exposure. Exactly. So I was going to want you to speak upon the boycotts a little bit more next week, because that thing you sent out earlier with those, we're going to post boycotts for you next week, okay? So that you guys will know what to wear and how to spend your money. All right, and where not to spend your money, okay? A lot of places, at least one thing, and this is the thing, as we the people, not we just the black people, not the Asian people, not the Hispanic people, but we the people. All right, and this is a we the people movement. Okay, this is what we need to wear in my hands. This is what we need to be doing. We don't need to be doing this. Okay, doing that resistance pull of doing a tug of war against one another or each other at this point. If you're not agreeing with what is going on in this country with this administration, then you got to find a way to start standing up for who you are and with your rights.
You need to write your congressmen, write your senators, write all your state politicians. They need to know that this is a regime. Only time they move is when they see that those letters come in, because those letters count. You need to be. I've never ever. Yes, I have. One time I've written a congressman when I was in Virginia. But since then, I've written Ossoff and
Warnock.
Yeah, Yep, I've written both of them twice, and
Mm-hmm.
the first was when Trump was trying to do when they try to assign people while everybody's on break. And I told him, I said that wouldn't be fair for them not to have hearings. They deserve to have hearings like anybody else, and without being just pushed right through, But now I wrote again because I felt like they're not pressing the issue of Elon Musk and our privacy. He's putting Starlink into our systems, and he's going to be just like, and I hate to say it this way, he's going to be like Terminator. Once he gets his veins in these systems, he's got back doors and worms that can take care and do anything he wants. And Trump just gave him free reign. How does he get in there without being vetted? How does he get in there without an approval from the other entities of our executive and our judicial branches? How does all this happen without their say so? And now he's passed a executive order saying that only Trump, and the Justice Department can say what is law.
Right.
Nobody else can. Only they can say it. What the hell?
And again, I'm still trying to get my head around all of this giving away of power and how so many people have died, for this power. You have served your several tours, and you're in the Navy, right? You're in the Navy,
yep,
right?
In the Navy, yep.
And fighting for, what you had to fight for, and be just having a place to be a part of the armed forces in this for this country. And yet still now you've got, I'm like slightly changing the subject here, but then you've got somebody that's also looking to pull everything that you deserve as a veteran from you.
Yeah,
where the hell does this come from?
And he was supposed to be drafted with his bones.
We changed that conversation.
But the saddest thing about that situation is they're cutting back on those who would want to join. They don't want transgenders joining the military.
Right.
They don't want black anybody to join the military, and they're gonna start cutting off women joining the military.
Right.
So the saddest thing about this situation is what they're going to do now.
Well, again, it came out this week, and we've got to stop talking about him. I know we're talking about this man, but I don't want to, but it is about him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just so tired about it. Well, he's their president, ain't mine. But but somebody had already identified, and put out in Time Magazine, put a thing about him being king. That's a hell of a statement. I'm gonna tell you. And it's going on every magazine rack. Okay, at the end of the day, this image of this fool, an orange image of an orange king. But I promise you that is what his goal is. So my question is, like I started out earlier, we the people have got to start. Don't sit on your asses and wait for somebody else to do this. Okay. Like you said, Charles, hey, you got to start writing your senators. You got to start writing your congressmen. You got to start getting involved. Even if it's a gentle conversation with somebody you standing in the grocery store line. Okay. Because I promise you, there are far more people with you than you think that are against you. Okay. And even the ones that may appear to be against you are opening their ears. Okay. They are. They're yeah, exactly. Well, but go ahead.
But to be honest with you, there are people out there fighting the good fight, and we all should be fighting back on the 28th of this month. Mm-hmm. There's going to be an economic blackout. So those who do not like what's going on within this country, we're going to post it. But there is a protest on February the 28th that is called the economic blackout. So if you like to go shop at big chains like Walmart or Target, don't shop at those places. Go to your local businesses or go to a local hole-in-the-wall spot that somebody needs the money and the support. Go support those, but do not support these big food chains and especially McDonald's.
Well, let me in the same line of what we were talking about. One of our viewers tonight is just making a nice comment, which I think it should be addressed to the men of our audience. And in the comment, it's basically that women are taking the lead to do a whole lot. Well, I have to agree. If you want to get something done, ask a woman to do it. I totally agree with that. But the challenge is it's got to be the men. Okay, at the end of the day, because we are the life givers. Okay, and why are we not giving life to better situations and choices? Okay, we said it on our show. I think that one of the problems is that life-giving peace is been ruling the problem for a long period of time. Okay, men, tuck it in and zip it up. Okay, bottom line, and that's on so many levels, okay, because it is really a snare, okay, for men by general. Okay, well, who was that? The sex therapist that we had on the show like 3 years ago. He said men typically, all right, are concerned with two things. Okay, not trying to offend you all that don't like this word, but it's two things. You remember those two things, right? To fuck and fight. Okay, that is a very, in my opinion, degrading category for men in general. But here's the thing: we have the power to address it. If you don't start looking at yourself as a life giver, doesn't mean necessarily you spewing out, excess to create and make that. That is a form of life, but the life giver starts with what's in you and what you speak into the people in your life. That's where your life giving starts. And from our platforms that we have, men, whether it's your sons, whether it's your daughters, wherever that is in your home. And if you're not a good dad, refocus your shit and get your stuff together.
And I have to give my flowers to Jasmine Crockett because let me tell you something.
Absolutely.
She is about the only person that I'm seeing right now on all networks, radio, whatever. I'm seeing her on podcasts. I'm seeing her out there doing the work. But I am very disappointed in your president, Obama.
Oh, okay.
I'm very disappointed. I want to see people out there fighting the good fight, not this black woman from Texas doing all of the work, because I think it's really not fair to her to be putting all of this energy into sticking it to the man when she's got a whole army behind her that are saving face.
Right.
And that right there, I say.
You said the captain. Say it again. Saving face. Okay, go ahead.
That right there is Black history.
All right.
That is our Shirley Chisholm. Right there.
Okay.
And that right there is a threat. Black women have always been a threat to a society that likes to put white men up on a pedestal.
Right.
And that right there, I hate to say this, though, black men, you cannot point fingers at other people, and not only black men, but other men too.
Right.
But I see a lot of us on our algorithms always pointing fingers. No, it's time to stand up. It's time to say something. We're saying something, but I think, honestly, we could be doing more to behind the truth.
Well, we got plans.
We got plans.
We got plans. Yeah,
we got plans. But
two behind the two is going on the road.
Start doing the work.
We going on the road soon. You're gonna be seeing some things different. Yeah, but and speaking to and I have to give a shout out to our brother. He watches us from time to time. The gentleman that's always out in the open speaking truth to power. What is his name on Instagram? And that guy, he's got a lot of followers. He's been on different platforms and whatever. But very, 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 very powerful in bringing truth to power. He is good and excellent. I will support him. Give him a shout out, whatever. And he's really trying to help people understand, to evolve, to come to another place. Where they are typically from what we're talking about right now at this particular point. But yeah, so we didn't just talk about and not creating these smoke and mirrors of what we want to see happen. But it has to start from somewhere. We have to put that voice out there in the universe. We have to start that energy going, and for the majority of these platforms that are out there, there's not enough energy. You always talk about what Nasty Red doing, and and Beyonce getting you know what I'm saying? Beyonce tickets be out of the price range, and y'all knew that when she was going on tour. The last tour she went on was out of the price range. So what do you expect her to do different now? Okay, at the end of the day, I mean, I
think she's deserving of that type of money.
But that ain't where we are.
Read the room, Beyonce. Read the room now, because we're in an economic crisis,
right?
But I think she is deserving of that type of money, because if you can go pay Barbara Streisand more than $5,000 for ticket seats, I think it's fair to go to a Beyonce ticket.
If you can afford it.
If you can afford it.
Okay. But see, that's the key operative now. If you have to take loans to go see Beyonce, you need to sit your ass down somewhere.
Please do.
All right. Because I told you, I know people. Okay. I know people. Okay, that took a loan to go see Beyonce. Absolutely damn not. Okay, that's ridiculous. At the end of the day, and I'm trying to put what $20 to go together to go see a movie. You talking about what, paying $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 to go sit down in front of the audience for 5 minutes? I love Janet Jackson, but guess what? When Janet said them big prices, I'll say, Miss Jackson, I'm gonna love you from afar. Okay, because it just don't make sense. I would rather, we said this before, and we can go on to your next subject. I would rather go to New York City, to Broadway at any given time, which we'll have on several occasions, to pay $150 to go see a live correct, beautiful show. Okay, don't miss a beat at all. All right, any day. Okay, to pay somebody $5,000 to go sit in front of an absolutely damn not. No.
I'm gonna do my favorite Mary J. Blige impersonation. You saying now, Charles?
Yeah.
Here, pass the mic. Pass the mic. I'm just gonna let y'all work. Pass the mic. Everybody, Mariah Carey doing it. Pass the mic. Pass the mic. I ain't got to sing no more. Y'all paid to see me. Pass the mic. These days, nobody ain't singing.
Ain't nobody singing. Ain't nobody singing.
I don't blame them, but hell, I mean, if I'm coming to a concert, I'm paying a good
ain't
money.
nobody that kind of money that is worth seeing to stand in front of me.
How you feel about that, Charles?
Big gaudy. Ain't nobody. I'm sorry.
Hey, there's people out here getting loans and junk to go, but hey, it's
you know
up to the individual.
You know, people can't pay their rent, going getting loans to go see Beyonce. What?
That's crazy, but yeah, they do it.
She always do this when she's during the time of filing taxes, filing your W-2 forms and stuff like that. Right now, I don't know if anybody gonna get their money this year because they got laid off more than 2,000. They laid off a lot of IRS workers. That's why I wanted Darnell to come on tonight because he would know more about this. Right. But the facts are how are they gonna get? Who gonna get their money? And who has filed their taxes? Because I hate to say this, if you file your taxes, you up Shit's Creek without a paddle. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then on top of that, do y'all believe we're gonna get this $5,000?
Oh my God!
Did you hear about the $5,000?
A guy, I think I sent it to you. A guy did the math out of the 20-something $1 million and the millions of people we have that are actually taxpayers. It comes out to $150 per person. We're only getting 20% of that 100% tax cut. We're only getting 20. The rich are getting 83% of it.
Oh, okay.
So a caveat to that: you have to spend somewhere. You have to report that you spend more than $8,000 to get that $5,000.
You know what?
Did you hear about that too, Charles?
So why don't he just write checks like he
don't surprise me.
Why don't he just write checks like he allegedly did during COVID to put his name on it and just cut?
That's what people are thinking. They think he's gonna send him $8,000, but they don't realize even the COVID wasn't yours. It was
a loan.
Advance. That's all it was.
A loan. It was a loan with interest.
We're paying that back.
But here's the thing now, in all of this, okay, so he's about to bankrupt the country. Okay, so what he's doing to do that to get a surplus is now it wasn't part of your generation growing up either, but you probably later on. But Charles and I remember how much they used to talk about Fort Knox. Remember, Charles, how Fort Knox, it was always on the news. Walter Cronkite was talking about Fort Knox. Fort Knox went away, baby. Okay, but now it's going to resurface again because they're about to bankrupt the U.S. Okay, so now they're going to have to go into Fort Knox where there is no more reserve. That was supposed to be where all of the gold, that was kept in the U.S. All right,
don't we have Haiti's gold in that place? Haiti, there has been a rumor that the natural resources of gold that we have stolen from Haiti is in Fort Knox, allegedly.
Okay.
But on top of that, the Republicans are going around saying this too. We as government workers, we have never been allowed to go in there and count whatever gold that's in that place. And we were told never to go in there. So they're giving this like a high five to Trump, saying now we can go see what's actually in there and touch it and count it. And
I don't think it's as much as in there that it was when Charles and I were growing up. Actually, I just think that money has been, that gold has been spread out for a long time, paying the debt of America. I'm serious. I could be wrong, and I don't think that I'm not thinking about the allegedlys and all of this type of stuff. But we talked about this on The Truth Behind the Truth. We talked about who owned America. Okay, she's resting in her crypt right now. But she owned
Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden. That's a good one.
She owned 2/3 of the world. Okay, she's resting in her crypt right now. Okay, and you can check my facts. All right, and America was bought, and if what is Elon Musk, whatever the Muskrat or whatever it is, if anybody was in a position to buy America, which he's already probably done. He bought the presidency. Okay, then he would probably be the next owner of the lands of America. Okay, so y'all don't pay attention. Please stop paying attention. Okay, at the end of the day, please stop paying attention. I know it seems like we're kind of touching over different little subjects all over, but it all hones together into one understanding. Okay, it really is. All right.
If you're on Medicaid,
okay,
if you're on Social Security, if you're on the wagon wheel program, if you are on, if your child gets free lunch, which they're gonna cut, if you are getting food stamps. If you are on some form of disability or getting disability, whatever you want to call it, y'all better start waking up, because I hate to say it, that town hall meeting was a wake-up call for those white, I hate to call it, my Caucasian brothers and sisters, true behind true white folks. They got a wake-up call, because even the lady stood up in that very same town hall meeting and she said, y'all had passed a law saying to those married women, if I take on my husband's name, I won't have the right to vote.
Project what?
Project 2025.
Okay. He wasn't associated with it though. Just want to remind you.
And the saddest thing about that is they're rolling back amendments. They're rolling back. We said this last year. America is we always have had a fragile experiment when it comes down to democracy. Democracies all over the world have all their governments have turned into totalitarian right-wing states or communist states. This thing called democracy has never been an easy thing to keep going or to maintain, because you have people like Trump who you have people like Trump who are rich, who have access, who knows people on the ground and over in whatever country. They know how to connect the dots, and they know how to go in and make change overnight while we're being distracted. So I'm telling y'all, yes, it's time to start waking up.
Right. And you see how he switched it, right? Russia invaded Ukraine. Now he's saying Ukraine invaded Russia, and that Zelensky is a dictator, and that we need to. And now he's got these megas walking around talking about Zelensky took all the money we gave him and bought 2 super yachts, and he's driving around the world exporting cocaine.
Why? I'm not cutting you off. Why, people? Why? 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 I'm gonna say it one more time. Why? Why do you fall for this shit?
And you got a bunch of hillbillies who believe that Putin is not really a bad person. Now that's crazy.
Oh my
I always thought us as a true American will always not agree with anything that's Russian. But to have now people from the Midwest and Middle America saying, well, I don't think Putin's all that bad.
Oh my God.
He ain't black.
Oh my! I'm almost gonna say, "Oh my God!" again and again and again. All right, we got to bring this to a close. I'm like, I ain't gonna go on no rant raid tonight, okay? But this is just
it's time to wake up.
It's time to wake up,
because this is how totalitarian states they are ran, and this is how they're set up. The governments are set up this way to confuse, to distract. To manipulate through the press. Even the FBI, the new man that runs it now, he baited the press the day he got assigned his position. He said, I'm going to do something about the fact that you have lied on my name. You have came out with disinformation. Now, this is the FBI director.
Okay. Do you want to, just as we bring it to a close, okay? No, and it's right. Okay. So we have introduced to you several times about that president's playbook. Okay. That president's playbook. I ain't talking about that one. I'm talking about the other playbook that he did. Okay. I'm gonna tell you guys, Charles, if you can put it up, that playbook, the Hitler playbook. Okay. We said it on previous show. You gave a full dissertation, one time on speaking of this, on the show. If you really want to understand, and I'm talking to everybody, all right, you really want to understand what is going on and how a person sets up a dictatorship, okay, read this book. Okay, I'm gonna get started different. Okay, read this book. Okay, it will tell you almost verbatimly what whoever wants to call that man president is doing. Okay, if you want to know more in a audible way of learning, go to YouTube. Okay, type in this book. There's a full several series of documentary of this. All right, and learn for yourself. Okay, this is a truth behind the truth moment for you. This is a truth behind the truth understanding for you. This is knowledge and information that you have available to you to pick up and read. Okay, or to, if you don't want to read, go to YouTube and pull it up. Type it in there. You get the whole information about it. And I promise you, in listening, your mouth is going to drop open.
And the definition to undergird was secure and fasten from the underside, especially by a rope and chain passed underneath. The reason why we're bringing this back up because I used the word wrong and the reason.
Well,
I just wanted to clear that up and say this is the definition truth behind the truth. Undergird black initiatives.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you have everybody standing on the front line of the White House? But anyway, we got to go.
No.
But anyway, seriously though. But back to that point, guys, really, I want y'all to do y'all homework this week. Okay, I'm gonna give you an assignment. Okay.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Get the book. Okay, if you want to download it, go to YouTube. It's free. Okay, and then come back with your comments and say, JB, you were right. Charles, you're right. Darling, you're right. Darling, you are super right. Darling, you are on point. Darling, you're like the best. Darling, you are the bomb. Darling, you are the social journalist that we need in society today. All right, please, guys, do your research. Okay, because this is not a time to be playing. Now, two things: do your research and get an exit strategy plan. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. All right,
vacation.
A permanent vacation. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Thank you for coming and joining us at the later hour. Remember, we will be back Tuesday night. All right. Tuesday night, same time frames. All right. 9 p.m. East Coast, 8 p.m. Central Time, and 6 p.m. on the West Coast. That's going to be our new time slot for a little while. Now, the Saturday nights will still be available to view, okay? But we will be live on Tuesdays, all right? And we'll be a re-airing on Saturdays if you can't catch Tuesday, all right? Be the same format, all right? Love you guys so much. Remember to support us. Remember to share, like, and share. Share the show tonight. Send it out there. For those that you agree with, don't agree with, okay? Send the show. Share the show. Share, and support us. Contribution-wise. Okay, if you ain't gave nothing else, you need to go to that pocketbook person, that credit card, and pull it out, all right? TTBTT show at Cash App. No, I'm sorry. What is it? Cash App is TTBTT show, and on Venmo is The Truth Behind the Truth. Yeah. Get your mug, all right? $9.99 right now on special. Send an email to the email address, okay, requesting the mug, and we'll get you taken care of with that, all right? Thank you guys once again. We love you. Yay, you're a powerful force. Together we can stand. Divided we will fall. But guess what? We all are we the people. Yeah. All right. Have a blessed night. We'll see you next week on what? On Tuesday. On what? The Truth Behind the Truth.
Don't file your taxes.
Good night. Bye.